Hello. Can you hear me? Is it on? You can hear me? Okay. Hello, everyone. Wait till. Hello and welcome. It is nice to see so many people here with us tonight. My name is Emily Loeb, and I'm the Director of Programs and Education at the Holocaust Center. And I, along with my fellow staff, are so happy that you're able to join us here tonight for this important and joyous event. This year marks the 38th annual Waldman Awards. In 1985, the Waldman family had the idea of inviting middle and high school students to engage more deeply with the Holocaust and reflect on what they learned through visual arts and creative writing. This year, we followed the model that we established last year, in which schools held school-wide competitions, and after their own internal judging, the sponsoring teachers sent us their winners to be considered in a final round of judging by our own panel of judges. You should all be so proud of yourselves and the work you have produced. All of the entries we received were thoughtful and impressive. Truly, the work you submitted was stunning. From the handmade diorama, which showed off not only incredible craftsmanship, but also a deep understanding and reflection on the inhumane way children were treated and abused in the Holocaust, to a hand-sewn pillow through which the student wove art and history together. My own grandmother, who is both a Holocaust survivor and a seamstress, would have appreciated this particular entry. To paintings and poetry and essays that reflected on this horrible time in human history, all of you have taken a subject of the Holocaust, one that can be difficult to confront and comprehend, and you've wrestled with it and presented it to the world in the form of art, whether that be in words, in paint, in sculpture, or textiles. We are truly honored to have received these gifts that you have made, and we hope that you continue to share your unique talents with the goal of making the world a more just and peaceful place for everyone. At this year's award ceremony, the Holocaust Center is happy to showcase some of our new partnerships. This is our first Waldman Award, as we are part of the Reimagined Tree of Life organization. In addition, Chatham University has been our academic home since 2021, and we're happy to be hosting the awards on campus again this year. We are also joined tonight by Sean McIntosh, who's a Chatham student, who will speak about the film that he and his fellow student, Anna Beitar, made for our Yom HaShoah program earlier this year. And please check out the pamphlets that are on the table to read about some of the Holocaust Center's upcoming events. Before I turn the stage over to our Waldman Awards coordinator, Cindy Carafa, we want to thank Hal and Diane Waldman, who are here with us tonight, along with their daughter, Kelly, for establishing the Waldman Awards. And we also want to note the other organizations that support our education work, including Tree of Life, the Regional Asset District, Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh, and the Jack Buncher Foundation. Finally, I want to thank my fellow staff members of the Holocaust Center, Cindy Carafa, Christina Sahovi, Noah Schoen, and Marcel Walker, Nick Haberman and his colleagues with the Light Education Initiative, and especially Nicole Samar, who designed the program booklet that you see on the table, Jackie Reese and Carol Zawatsky of Tree of Life, the Holocaust Center's Advisory Board, as well as our intern and soon-to-be full-time co-worker, Julie Gattano. And now I'm going to turn the stage over to Cindy Carafa, who will introduce our speakers. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. That step gets higher and higher the older I get. So anyway, I'd like to say hello. My name is Dr. Cynthia Carafa, but please call me Cindy. If you call me Cynthia, I'm going to think I did something wrong. Because you know how when your mom gets upset with you, and someone's shaking their head already, and she gets upset with you and she calls you by your full name? So if you call me Cynthia, I'm just going to think I did something wrong. So we'll go with Cindy. Anyway, so I'm the one who has been emailing all of you the last 4 months. So it is so nice to actually see faces instead of just emails and screens. So I too would like to welcome you here this evening. Students, your art has been so impressive. Again, for the last 4 months, I truly enjoyed looking at it. And now to have it in person instead of just on the screen. That is wonderful. The teachers, thank you. You can never thank teachers enough. I'm sure you nod your head on that one too. So teachers, thank you for your dedication to the Holocaust curriculum and to your students. Very much appreciated. And of course, parents. I hope you know how awesome your kids are. Hope you're very proud of them. We are. So students, you have the option of leaving your pieces with us, or you could take them home tonight. So please, either way, you might want to display it in your living room. Ask mom and dad first before you do that. Okay. And then what we're going to do, we're going to call each name individually. We'll start with the school winners. So when your name is announced, please come up, receive your certificate, and you'll get it. Our photographer, Mel, is back there standing by the door. She will take your picture, but parents, please feel free to whip out those cameras and, take your own pictures. And then students, after you receive your award, please just take a step back, and then we're going to take a group picture with the school winners. And then after the school winners leave the stage, then we'll have the announcement of the category winners. So again, category winners, please accept your certificates and awards. And then please just take a step back and we'll get a group picture. I talk with my hands, I almost knocked over the microphone. Please take a step back and we'll get a group picture of you too, okay? And then our finale for the evening, the Waldmans will be announcing the grand prize winner from the category winners. So get your Oscar bets in now. I know who it is. But we'll see. We'll see if you guess correctly. The art is over there, along with the essays and poems. So please take a look at those. And now, at the end of the program, just so you don't go running off, Emily is going to come back up on stage and ask you to join all the students for a group picture with the Waldmans, so we'll do that. And then the last thing is, I invite you to sit back, enjoy the evening, and now it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce our first speaker, Hoots Powell's lead project writer and inker, Mr. Wayne Wise, who will also be here during light refreshment time if you have questions for him. So let's give a huge round of applause for Wayne.
Thank you, Cindy. And thank you, and welcome everyone to the Waldman Awards. I've served as a judge for the Waldman contest 3 different times. And as she said, I'm the lead writer on the Hoots Powell Comics Project. If you haven't seen that, there are some up here. I've been involved with Hoots Powell and by extension with the Holocaust Center of Pittsburgh since the beginning of that project in 2013. It's a project I'm tremendously proud of, my own contribution as well as that of every other person involved. From the beginning, the goal of Hoots Powell was to share the stories of Holocaust survivors, their heroism, their struggle, and most importantly, their spirit. The original idea was inspired by the fact that many of the earliest creators of comic books, like Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creators of Superman, were Jewish, creating heroes on the page during the same time frame as the Holocaust and World War II. We wanted to use the metaphor of the superhero to tell these stories, but we wanted to remain true to the real-life experiences of our subjects. There are no capes or superpowers. just very real human bravery and resilience. As the writer, my job was to find the heart of each of these narratives and somehow try to convey that in a very limited amount of space. There's the history of the Holocaust that is taught in a global manner, the events, the timeline, the big picture, but everyone who experienced the Holocaust has their own personal history, what we call a micro-history. There are as many of these as there are people who were there, many of which we will never know. Day to day, I tend to forget that Chutzpah is out there being taught in classrooms all over the country. The work that I and other creators produced, some of it years ago, still lives on, is being read, is teaching lessons. Every time I'm reminded of that, whenever I see pictures of students interacting with the material, I am humbled. That is the power of art and story. They allow history to live on so that those who come after can learn. The purpose of the Waldman Awards is to celebrate and reward art and story. Slide, please. My father passed away in February. He was 103 years old. In World War II, he drove a Jeep across Europe as part of the 7th Armored Division. He landed on Omaha Beach, fought at the Battle of the Bulge, and met with the Russian army near the Black Sea near the end of the war. Smoked cigars with some of those Russian boys, to use his words. Local survivor Moshe Baran was there at the same time. While it is unlikely the two of them ever met, we represented that historical moment by drawing them together in our first issue. Moshe and my dad fought actual Nazis. You can change that. I was talking about Dad with a friend recently, and my work on Chutzpah came up. My friend said, "You're fighting Nazis too, every day, with your words." That was a perspective I had never thought of before, but he's right. There's an old saying that the pen is mightier than the sword. What this means is that the written word, art, has the power to change the world. It is no coincidence that the first thing any oppressive regime wants to do is to ban books. The power of words and images and ideas are a threat to those who wish to control the story of other people's lives. Words and art can change the hearts and minds of millions. In any oppressive system rife with prejudice and racism, any act of art is an act of resistance. Every entry into the Waldman Awards is an act of resistance. Every piece of art that addresses systemic oppression and brings it to the light of day is an act of courage. We are all fighting Nazis with our art. There are no losers in that fight, except those who wish to oppress others. Thank you for having me. And I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Sean McIntosh.
Hello. First off, I would like to thank Mr. Wise for introducing me, and I'd like to begin by extending my gratitude to all involved with the Waldman Awards for giving me this opportunity and this honor to speak to you this evening. I'd also like to congratulate all those in attendance being honored for their work, the tremendous work you've done. In the film I created for Yom HaShoah in collaboration with the Holocaust Center, many of the survivors speak about keeping every story alive as one of the most important things. And whether you know it or not, the work you've done tonight with your art and what you've written has done just that. It has kept every story alive so future generations can learn what happened, remember what happened, and memorialize those appropriately. To give a little background about myself, as stated prior, I'm a student at Chatham University. My major is history with a focus in Holocaust, genocide, and human rights studies. I feel very compelled to do this work as my great-grandmother was a Holocaust survivor from Austria-Hungary. The work is incredibly important because, like I said, not only are you keeping every story alive, and like Mr. Wise touched on before me, but being an upstander and being a resistor is something that is incredibly important, and even the smallest actions can show to do those things. The background to the project and the film is we wanted to do something different this year that would help memorialize all of these stories and put it in a format that was accessible to everybody and would give the survivors a chance to speak in their own words and not have them repeated or just read, but to be able to see the emotion that they bring with these words. And the most important aspect with these interviews that you are about to see is while we do come into it with a question that we are asking them and a question we would like them to answer, we let them dictate much of the interview because what they say is so incredibly important and so deeply thought out that really the question we ask is second to what they have to say to us in terms of memorial and remembrance. So now I would like to thank you all again and enjoy the film.
So I was born July 28, 1938. When I was born, they said it was Bukovina. After that, they changed from Bukovina to Ukraine, from Ukraine to USSR to Romania. So I was 2 years old when we were driven into concentration camps. With my father, my mom, I have an older sister, and my grandmother. Everything was by foot. We walked and we walked till we came into a farm. That farm used to be mostly cows used to live there. I don't remember, I don't know exactly how many people were at that farm, but it was many people. Being I was so young, I was 2 years old, my mom held me in her arms like that. By the time we got there, I don't know how many hours. By the time her hand was so swollen that she could not open it, they had to take me out from underneath. And then slowly, her arms got better and she could sit with us. Like I said, I remember things since I was three and a half, although for years I didn't want to remember. There are things that you saw there and you heard that and it was done to us that you cannot imagine. These people could be so cruel. It's sad. It's sad. How should I put it? I hope it's never going to happen again. But there is still so much ignorance. There's a lot of people who still don't know what Holocaust means. There's a lot of people who are going to say it did not exist, they made it up. And those are the people who have to know what went on. Because what happened to me could happen to somebody else. That's why I think we all should speak out. As many we left, speak out and tell about the Holocaust. Young people should know what happened. I think should be a class about the Holocaust, about genocide, in every school, every university, every church, every synagogue, all over. Right? Young people should be taught.
My name is Moshe Baron. I was born in 1920 in Poland. My mother was the only mother who survived from a whole little town. I stole her out of the ghetto, and somebody was waiting there, a friend of mine, who whisked her away into the woods. And that was it. to celebrate Yom HaShoah, it likes to celebrate life and death. If you try to forget it, it's something wrong with you. What the young people do? First of all, they should know the history, the origins, how it all developed. And when they talk about it, they should be talking intelligently, and they know what they're talking about. I'll talk to anybody who wants to know. It should not be forgotten. It's just another incident in history. It should be remembered, because if you don't remember, you do it again.
I'm Carol Zawadsky. I'm the CEO of the Tree of Life. So my father, Murray Zawadsky, fought in the Battle of the Bulge. He had a Purple Heart and Bronze Star and many other medals. And he was a liberator in Austria at Mauthausen concentration camp. It was something that was really difficult for him to talk about. And I worked at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum during a time that we did a special exhibition on the American liberators. So it was a really beautiful time to connect with my father and learn more about the role of the 11th Armored Division, of which my father was part, and about his experience being a liberator. And one of the standout moments that I was able to have with my father was that year in the Capitol Rotunda, during the Days of Remembrance, we were honoring all of the liberators. So I brought my father, and my father wore all of his medals. And when they marched in with the Troping of the Colors and the 11th Armored Division, and my father was standing in the Capitol Rotunda, it was a beautiful experience for us to be able to share together as father and daughter. Why should we remember the Holocaust? Why not just move on? I mean, it was really bad and a terrible moment in history. So why shouldn't Jews and the rest of the world just move forward and just forget about the bad stuff? And I believe that we have to remember about the Holocaust, about every life that was lost, so that we remember every victim group. We remember Jehovah's Witnesses and the disabled, and that we remember the LGBT community, and we remember Roma and Sinti, and we remember every Jew that was lost. And that those of us who are here have to work every day toward making the world a better place and assuring that the Holocaust never happens again in another place. So as a young person, how do you help others remember? I think one of the most important parts is to keep every story alive. Everything that you have read about individuals and stories and perseverance and upstanders and resistors, share those stories. Whether you share those stories through the work that some people are fortunate to do as educators and teachers, as parents, friends on college campuses, and to always remember what it took for each person to survive. That resiliency, that perseverance, and so often the role of the upstander, the role of the person who was a resistor. And how can each and every one of us every day work toward being an upstander and a resistor?
My name is Sam Schur. I was born December the 25th, 1925 in Poland, the city of Belgium. In 1939, the German come into my town. The only thing I will say is people will start to get scared and start to dynamite my beautiful synagogue in Bendin was built in the 1300. Most of the stuff was brought in from Italy. Beautiful paintings, and some of the people who were still in the synagogue, when they started to shoot around, some older people, like rabbis, were studying in the synagogue. They started to run out and they were shot. Okay. In 1940, I was there in the line in the city of Będzin, Poland. A truck comes over, picked up all the young people, and took us away to a concentration camp. My age was 13 years old. That was before my bar mitzvah in 1940. As you know, when I went out to the camp, what happened? They put a line up in the front of my first camp because I was in 5 different kind of concentration camps. I spent 5 years in a concentration camp. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm in so many camps. So when I arrived in the concentration camp, what they done, they told us to line up the kids, I would say. Well, took us by truck away. And they shaved our heads, told us to take off all our clothes, all our belongings on the floor. And then there come an assessment, this was a German murder, and told us that you are here because we want you to work here. I know that some people still don't believe we had a Holocaust. People were dying. And I want to educate young children, which I'm doing right now in schools. I'm still doing it. One child picked up the hand and has a question for me, like you did. You know what he said to me? Are you still Jewish? Because I told him why I went to the camp. We have to educate the young children. They should understand what was going on. We should have peace with everybody. You know, we should hate each other. Because, see, the Jewish people are no different than other people.
I was born in Bulgaria, in the capital city of Sofia, in 1929. I'm now 93-year-old, and I remember everything from Bulgaria. The Yellow Star, and we were subject to many restrictions. We become second-class citizens. And finally, we were in ghettos. This is not something trivial. It is 6 million people systematically killed by a government. It is serious thing. And if you heard it once and twice and three, there is new population coming after you, new generation. They don't know it, what really happened. Or they heard Holocaust, yes, but what is the Holocaust, they do not know. And the best way to know is from people who survived, and to know how people can be indoctrinated. And they will not know it if it is not repeated every year. People are the same every place, and I believe that anybody can be susceptible to indoctrination, especially when they put it in patriotism. It is deeply implanted for years and years that the Jews are not equal to us. You know, there is such thing even today. This is what I think that the Holocaust supposed to be memorialized every year, and people have to be reminded about it.
Again, I would just like to thank everybody for the opportunity for this film to be presented. And one of my final remarks will be, while my name and Anna Bitar's name was at the end, we did very minimal work compared to what those survivors did in speaking to us. And the main takeaway from this is that they are the main focus, and what they said was the main focus. And again, I just would really like to reiterate that the work that you've all done this evening, that you're being honored for, and justly so, will continue to do everything that they've asked us to continue to do in that film. Thank you, and now I'd like to introduce Kelly Waldman.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Thank you, Sean, for sharing that video with us. So I would like to start to announce the school winners and education outreach winners. So our first winner is John Rohrbach from Mount Lebanon for his essay. Okay. Our next winner is Hannah Olawaye from Quaker Valley for 2D Art Middle School. Okay. Our next winner is Alex Santavica from Carlinton 2D Art High School Education Outreach and School winner. Our next winner is Megan Gates, Ryan Glower, Poetry Middle School. Our next winner, Leah Malley, Ryan Glower, Poetry Middle School Education Outreach. And our final winner is Caleb Moslander, Ryan Glower, Poetry Middle School. Thank you. I'd like to now introduce my parents, Hal and Diane Waldman.
What the heck? Good evening. You know, when you're the last guy to speak, you usually tend to repeat what the others have said. So I'm going to do that, but I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, the students, the teachers, the families. I know this is a busy time of year for most of you, graduation, proms, wrapping up the school year. So thank you. A lot of you traveled a fair distance to get here tonight, so thank you. I especially want to thank the staff of the Holocaust Center, Emily and Christina, and especially, where'd you go? This young lady over here, Cindy's only been with the Holocaust Center 3 or 4 months, and she pulled all this together, and she did an amazing job. We've been doing it almost 40 years, and this woman did a remarkable job. So thank you very much. So I think Emily mentioned, Diane and I have been doing this 38 years. And honestly, it seems like yesterday. I didn't have gray hair when we started. It really has turned out better than we ever expected. If you think about 38 years, there's been thousands of students, young people, who have educated themselves about the terror of anti-Semitism. So honestly, that's all we could have ever wanted. And it's just been very gratifying for us to be a small part of it. The other thing I just want to mention quickly is Diane and I have been around since the Holocaust Center started. It started around 40 years ago. We've been doing this for 38 years. We are very good friends with the first director and all the directors subsequently. They've all been just fantastic and dedicated people. And the Holocaust Center is really embarking on a new and really exciting direction. We're going to be a part of the new reimagined Tree of Life. And, you know, out of that terrible tragedy is going to grow a national monument against hate and genocide and anti-Semitism. And we're just super excited to be a part of it. And I personally am very excited because we think a lot of the artwork that we've gathered through all the years of doing this contest is going to be on display. And this could be a national monument. So we're selfishly very excited about that prospect. And then I guess I'm really excited about the idea that we've kind of had a vagabond existence. We've done these award ceremonies everywhere, and hopefully they'll be done at the new Tree of Life in several years. So again, I want to thank everybody, and I'm going to do my chore now of thanking the category winners. And I didn't need these when I first started, but I do now. So if I butcher any names, I apologize in advance. The first winner is Stuart McAdams from Avonworth in the essay contest. Congratulations. I'm vain enough to take these off. The next young winner is Evelyn Birchu from Quaker Valley in the art category. Congratulations. Sophia Rao from Shaler. Our next winner is Tyler David Harpine from Springdale. Bella Burrell had a late illness, so she couldn't come. She was in the art category. Our next winner is Abby Mylacki. If I butchered that one, I'm sorry. We walked in with Abby. I should have asked how to pronounce your name. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And our final winner is Piper Bozick from Mount Lebo. Congratulations. And I don't do this as good as the Oscars. The grand prize scholarship winner is Tyler David Harpine. Congratulations. Yeah, I think we want all the winners to come up for one group photo. Okay. And then whoever won before, please come up. Lunch is there.
What we're going to do after we take this group photo, we have some late arrivals, so we're going to introduce the winners and we'll get your certificate and pictures with everybody. So students, you might have to do this all over again.
So I guess the last thing is everybody help themselves to refreshments and mingle. Oh, I put away my glasses. Okay. Would you like the honors? You ready for your big moment? This is Zoe Hermenu. Hermenu. Come on up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I love your look.
Thank you.
Be careful.
And this is just a quick statement of closing. We are so glad, again, that you guys were all able to come. And before we make it over to the back of the room for refreshments, I want to make sure that everyone knows who is a winner tonight. My coworker, Christina, raise your hand. She holds the scholarship awards, so you want to make sure to stop by to see her before you leave tonight to collect your scholarship. And again, Hal and Diane, thank you so much for our award ceremony again, and thank you all for coming. So we hope you guys hang out, mingle, and get some refreshments.